that would stand against me. Wretch, how now shall you challenge me?
What's up, Grind Squad? DG back again with another video. And as that intro might have suggested, I'm going to show you some Dragon on Dragon violence today. We're going to discuss a little bit about it and go over how to tackle some of the beginning stages. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Dragon Grind. I'm here to show you how to grind hard, play hard, without sweating too hard. The Dragon is going to be one of the last stops that I'm going to show you on my beginner guide series. After this video, I'm going to show you how to do some of the later stages of Dragon. And then I'm going to cover Nightmare Clan Boss, do a build guide, just get you started kind of thing for Nightmare Clan Boss. And that will be the end of the Dragon or of the beginner series. So if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, turn the notifications on so you can keep up to date with all of my new content, as we're going to be getting into more of the in-game content here shortly. So, hopping into Dragon, we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. Today, we're going to tackle stages 13 and 16. 16 makes a little sense. You're up in the higher, the higher stages. But why 13? Well, 13 is what I would suggest to be the first place that you can go and put a little bit of your energy, a little bit of your time and investment into it to acquire some decent 4 to 6 star pieces. This is the first stage that drops 4 to 6 star pieces. So, it's going to be an adequate spot for you to kind of bump up some of your heroes for your clan boss team, minotaur team, other areas of the game. And then 16 is where our goal is to get you to where you can farm stage 16 and above consistently. Past stage 15, you don't get, the dungeons do not drop any more of the green shards or brews or anything like that. So 16 is your first good consistent farming spot. If you can't beat the rest of these stages, 16 will do. So the strategy we're going to use for stage 13 is a pretty common one. You bring a couple poisoners like Kel, Juliana. You bring a couple healers, res, cleansers to help sustain your team, keep them alive, and cleanse the debuffs. So we have apothecary in here for the single target heals, and then we have reliquary tender in here for the res cleansing. She has a little heal in her kit as well. And then the last piece is going to be an AoE crowd control kind of debuffer, someone that brings stun, freeze, turn meter manipulation, damage mitigation, things like that. I'm bringing Bellower in here because he's fast and he'll be able to help nuke the waves out pretty good, as well as put defense down, attack down, skill cooldown lock, and speed reduction, all that on the trash waves, kind of just keep them in line. The strategy we're going to use here is more or less to try and sustain the trash waves, have Bellower there to help nuke them out a little bit, keep the poisoners alive, as well as the healer and cleanser until the dragon. And then when we get to the dragon, we're just going to stack up poisons to eliminate the dragon's breath and, just knock his HP down, mainly utilizing poisons and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. When it comes to your hero, your team comp with Dragon, this is kind of just the very base minimal. There's a few optional things that you could bring in, which I have a little bit, that could really help your time and runs on these. A speed booster, such as Apothecary, who also has a heals, he's really good. He kind of has some roll compression there, can really lower your run times, which when you're farming over and over again, having lower run times is ideal. Another role that you could bring that could really help your runs in Dragon is an AoE defense down, attack down, things like that, because they help with sustain, but they also help nuke the damage the enemies more, and again reduce your run times. And then at the Dragon here, there's another role that can be very helpful. A single target nuker. Someone like Royal Guard or Cold Heart, who has one skill that really nukes hard for damage. Or someone like Turvold or Rhodos, who is just very hard hitting single target. You can get an AoE nuker such as Ray or Biggin, that's awesome too, but they don't do as much damage as someone, say, like Rhodos or Royal Guard or someone like that. So when you're getting to the dragon, as you can see, this went pretty quick. But he has his breath up here. Those poisons, the damage, they knock it off real solid. And that's going to be what more or less gets you through. Now, stage 13 isn't too hard. I just covered it because it is what I consider the very minimal place that you can go and farm up halfway decent gear. It's 4-star to 6-star gear. And if you've been following my other beginner guides, by now you should have, your clan boss team 6-starred, mastered, and with clan boss type builds, and as well as a good general base inventory from campaign, login rewards, event rewards, things like that. So now let's go ahead and move over to the harder stage, stage 16. Again, we're going to use the same team. It might run, a little rougher, but the main goal is to do it consistently. I went very base minimal on a lot of this, a lot of their builds and gear and things like that. Granted, it was hard building, early to mid game tier heroes with my late game gear, but I did the best I could. So here, as you can see, we've got Bellower. He did AoE, attack down, defense down, and speed reduction on the enemies. That really helped helps your team stay alive, as well as knock down the enemies as quickly as possible. 24 seconds, that's a lot better. I ran another team in here with Doom Priest, who I've been using in a lot of my other beginner guide series content, and as well, she did her job. She AoE cleansed on the dragon stun and things like that. She wasn't putting out as much damage. By subbing Bellower in here with his defense down, attack down, and just AoE nukes, I'm able to nuke out the waves before my heroes get to out of rotation and not being able to keep each other alive. Now we're here at the dragon. He pumps up his breath. That's his purple bar up here. Before his next turn, you have to get this purple bar depleted. And as you can tell, even with damage, it kind of just knocks off a little bit at a time. But with all these poisons and HP burn and stuff up here, it finishes it off right there at the last minute. And it does pretty good damage. And he wasn't able to use his ability Scorch, which if he unlocks... oh, it is this one. When he uses Inhale, it will reset the turn meters of all of my team, and then it will unlock the secret skill Scorch, which that's his breath. That's the purple shield. And if he takes his next turn with the purple shield still up, he will use Scorch, where it's an AoE that places a stun debuff on your entire team. I don't think you can resist it or anything. You might be able to. I'm not sure, but if it hits, it hits. This skill will be locked and hidden if the dragon takes enough damage while the skill is unlocked. That's that purple shield. So that's your goal right there, is to get your poisoners and your your sustain, your reser, your cleanser, and those all alive to the end of dragon, and then your poisoners kind of handle the rest of it from there. And an easy way to a way to make it easier for your heroes to survive there is to kind of crowd control them with stun, damage mitigation, like attack down, and just to kind of kill off the trash waves as quickly as possible using someone like Bellower, Zargala, Stagnite, Madame. If you have any of those, again, I try to go really basic on this. All right, now I said if you stay till the end, I will show you a little bonus material to kind of help you get through the dragon stages. And these apply to all the dragon stages. I made sure to kind of stick with the ones that will be applicable to, Dungeon 20 and, some of the earlier in-game dungeons like 16, 17. The first two that we're going to start off with are hard carries. These heroes, you put them in your lineup. As long as they're built, they're booked, they're mastered properly, then they are going to carry you through pretty much every dragon dungeon there is. The first one's Rearguard Sergant. I'm not going to go too deep into these. I'm going to just kind of show you what they add to a dragon team. I'm not going to review the each hero. But speaking of Rearguard, her main thing is she has her A3 is on a 3-turn cooldown, places an AoE, 50% ally protection, and a 15% continuous heal. That's exceptional at protecting your squishies, like your DPS, your poisoners, heroes that you have to build multiple stats up on, so no, your sustain isn't super heavy. Perfect at that. As well as she also has the decreased defense on her A1 and an AoE attack down. In dungeons, AoE attack down is great to have. She's got pretty much the whole kit there. The next one is going to be Nazana. She is a demon spawn. These are both epics. You know, we'll get to some rares and other heroes here in a minute. But essentially, she has the same thing. She places an AoE ally protection and places a shield on herself. And the value of the shield is based on her HP. So she can really tank out a lot of damage. She's more self-sufficient with her ally protection, while Rearguard's more of a team help. And then her A3 is an AoE attack down hero. Kind of similar there. That's it. Her A1's an AoE. That could be helpful, especially during some stun gear or something like that. She can be very beneficial to your Dragon team. Moving on down the line is someone that I've actually shown on my beginner guide series. That's Doom Priest. Her A1 and A2 don't really add much. The increased attack will help you kind of through some of the waves, but it's mainly just her passive. She has an AoE 7.5% heal and a single debuff cleanse. At the start of each of her turns, you pump her up with speed, maybe throw a shield set on her like I have in some of my content, and she will help you if you're lacking in, you know, a cleanser. On to the next one is a crowd favorite here. We'll go up to High Elves, and it's Tyrell. He has an awesome aura, all ally defense in all battles by 25%. That's great right there. As well as he has an AoE defense down. That can be very helpful in nuking out the waves at the beginning. Single target turn meter decrease, that will help during the waves, but the dragon cannot be have his turn meter manipulated, so it won't help there none. And then you know, an A1 attack down. He's solid, he's good, and he, you know, he can help you both sustain and do damage. Going on from that is actually still on the high elves as well. And now we're going to touch on to some of those single target nukers that I was talking about. Royal Guards is actually AoE, but it scales off of enemy max HP. Enemy max HP skills do massive amounts of damage to dungeon bosses. So, you know, having heroes like Royal Guard there, who has an enemy max HP scaling skill, and then Cold Heart, who also has one, but hers is single target. It also reduces the turn meter by 100%, helpful in waves, not helpful versus the dragon, as you can't manipulate his turn meter none. The next couple stages that I'll be tackling will be 17 and 20. 17 will kind of be your introduction into the harder stages. Up to 16, you can kind of, you know, just DPS carry your way through them. At stage 17 to 20, it's going to take a little bit more of a, you know, a refined strategy. So in the next video, I'll be getting to that. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe, turn on the notifications so you guys get that video when it drops. But that's about all that I have to say about Dragon as of, you know, right now. I'll be covering these next few stages and Nightmare Clan Boss, and that will be the end of the beginner guide series. If I missed anything, if you guys have any, you know, suggestions or maybe even different strategies to knock out some of these early stages, especially if you're early game. It's been a while since I, you know, was early game, so I might have missed something that was a struggle for you then. Then, you know, feel free to leave that down in the comments for me. But for now, I'm going to sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and happy grinding. May the shards break in your favor.